Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? If you're a musician, listen very carefully. You need to stop focusing on your limits and start focusing on your strengths. Now here's why. Watch the board. We have two things, right? We have strengths and we have limits. Watch very carefully. Now, if there's one thing I want you to remember, is that I'm going to challenge some beliefs, but multitasking is a myth. Calm down, let me explain it to you. Now, this is your brain, right? It's much more effective if you do one thing at a time instead of spreading it over so many things. You get me? That's it. That's the most important thing. Focus. This word. The thing is that you have to focus on one thing and do it very, very well. You can't just you can't be competing with somebody who is giving his 100% to something and then you are giving your 20%. The person will eventually win. That's life. That's how it works. Now back to the topic. Let me take my agege bread and clean them. Now listen, there's something that we call brain space. You understand? Even if it's not a word, I came up with it or something. Brain space. You get me? Now if you start to focus on the things that don't matter, you're taking up space. Because you can only focus on so many things at a time. And when you're taking up space, you're wasting time. And that is that thing that we are trying to avoid, especially if you are doing music. Because the musician time span or the lifespan of a musician is not quite long. It's just a little longer than a footballer. Now, the first thing that you should really ask yourself is that the thing that you're focusing on, your limit, can you control it? It's very, very important. If you can't at the moment, discard it. Yes, I know everybody has that feeling. You know, sometimes you see something and you know you're not good at it. You want to be good at it and you compare. That's the word. Compare. Compare yourself to another person, which limits what you are actually good at. But what if you stop focusing on the things you cannot do and start focusing on the things that you can do very well? This particular mind shift is actually going to transform the way you approach music nowadays. Now just stay with me for a few minutes. Let me give you one secret about music. The thing about music is that no particular musician can master everything. We just focus on the things that we can master and we do them very, very well. Let me take an artist like Wizkid. Obviously, he has done some reggae before. We all know, smile. But if I'm to put him in the midst of reggae artists, he's not going to do well as you think he will do. Because the reggae artists have some uniqueness to them that Wizkid does not have. Like, I don't care whatever you see. But you know what? If he was focusing on that thing, the Rastafari, if he was focusing on that, we wouldn't have even been able to get the perfection of the Wizkid, the Afrobeat Wizkid that we know. You get me? But he focused on his strength, what he thinks he knows how to do very well. You see, the reggae, there are some things that you can't really control. The voice, they have some, sometimes it's natural. Maybe it's the, you understand? You need to, I know Wizkid, but his own is not as strong as, you know, the Rastafari. That's straight from the root. You understand? The hair, the culture. Sometimes it depends on like where you stayed in this particular part of the world. You understand? The culture influences the way you are able to like kill the reggae. You understand? So that means that if Wizkid wants to be a good reggae artist, Wizkid has to go and live in Jamaica for a very long time to get the culture because it's in it. You understand? And that would waste something that we are trying to avoid, time. Do you see? Now, every musician has his or her strengths. I'm going to list some of them down. Obviously, I wrote some things down, so I mean, like I always see that. Some have the natural music ear. Some have the rhythmic precision. I'm going to explain all this. Some have the creativity and originality. Some like dance and sing, emotional connection. I hope you can see what I've written. I know it's like nasty. But you see the natural music here. There are some people that they can be on key no matter what. They don't even need auto-tune. You get me? But there are a lot of artists that need a lot of auto-tune. And they've also blown, but they need a lot of auto-tune. Some of them too is natural. If the artists that need a lot of auto-tune were focusing that they don't have the natural ear, so they can't enter the music industry, well, I've never heard of them. Some people too have precision, rhythmic precision. Like they have timing in their head. So when they are singing, the beat is ka, ka, ka. You understand? That one too is, you have to have like some, you can train for that. Note, you can train for all these. You understand? But what we are trying to avoid here is wasting too much time. The creativity and originality, some people are good at it. Some people can dance and sing. Some people have emotional connection. There are some singers that have basically all the five. There are some singers that have one, dance and sing. There are some singers that have rhythmic. There are some singers that but the most important thing is that they focus on what they have and perfected what they have. Adele, she's a singer, right? Can she dance? No. Well, not that I've seen. You get me? But what does she have? Natural music here, emotional connection, creativity and originality. Exactly. You understand? So basically 3. If she started focusing on her, she can't dance, so she's not going to get the car. Have you gone to an Adele show before? She's sitting and singing. You get me? Exactly. Now, here's the thing. We have artists in our head that we know that have only one of these things, but we like them because they choose to focus on the thing that they already have. So there's something in this life that we call, let me draw the bar, it's called effort, right? And in effort, there's something that we call the 80-20 principle, which states that 20% of our effort gives us 80% of our results, right? So this effort right here can give us 80% of our results. Yes. And then this 80% just gives us 20% of our results. So now the most important thing is that you have to ask yourself, okay, I'm a musician. What am I doing in this my music that is giving me 80% of my results that everybody likes? You understand? Let me not even focus on the things that I can't do. But what am I doing very well that people like and is giving me 80% of the results? And this is the thing. You have to do, there's one strategy, there's a 3-step process. They call it more, better, before new. It's a step by step, right? So you check, okay, what am I doing that people like? 20% of the effort I'm doing. Okay, it is because I shake my head like this, or I tap my finger like this. So maybe let's say tap finger. So you have to do more of that tap finger. That's going to give you more of the results because you found out that this is what is giving you the result, the 20% of the effort you put in, more of the results. So you do more of it, or you find a way, when you've done more of it and you've exhausted it, you find a way to do it better. Do you understand? When you go there, before, when you've exhausted that one, you always get to a point that you know that you've exhausted it. Then you go for something new. You understand? So if you check an artist, right, the timeline, when they come into the system, they drop one song. That particular song blows up, right? And then when they drop, they say, these people like the song. Then they give us more of that song, right? Then they see that, Charlie, the thing is dying down. Then they go make it better. When they finish, then the people will tell them that, you have one way. Then they give us something new. You see, do you see the progression? Oh, sorry. Do you see the progression? Exactly. Now, you know what? Let me give you reasons why focusing on your strengths is actually better for you. Now, the first reason, very, very important, confidence. Hey, this thing in music, I don't even know, I don't want to swear, but it's just like football. If you are playing, you can see a player can play. We know one player in Real Madrid that is not really doing well. It's because of confidence. And it's because of position. He has lost a little and he's going to come back. So that's the same thing about music. If you focus on the thing that you can do well, that is your strength, it reinforces like your belief in your abilities that you know you can do, and you find joy in doing it. So you are going to do it more. But if you wallow in the limits that you don't have, you are going to have some kind of like frustrating, bro, and then you just waste time, man. Like, I don't know, I'm just all for time, man. Like, because I don't want people to like waste a lot of time. Like, take somebody like me. If you call me to come and play a keyboard, anywhere, anytime, play, make beats, like, see, anything music, call me. Any day, anytime. Because I have full belief in my strengths, in my capabilities. That's why I can talk my shit. You get me? Because I've trained for that shit. The next thing that is very, very important is watch the board. Now, the next thing that's very, very important is speed. Like I said, we are trying to reduce wasting time. You get me? So there's one thing. It takes a longer time to learn something new than to perfect something that you already know. When you're learning something new, it will take you a longer time. When you're now going to learn how to play the guitar, but you already know how to play the keyboard, perfect it. There's always room for betterness. Do you understand what I mean? Exactly. So now you are focusing on what? What you already know, perfect it, make it better. Use that strategy that I told you. The more, the better, the new. Obviously, you're going to get to the new later, but that is the last thing you should ever focus on. See, you probably might not even get to the new. Hold on with me. Now, the thing that we are trying to build here is momentum. Let me give you an example. I know you get what momentum means, but let me give you an example. Now, you see a snowball, right? When a snowball starts, maybe let's say it starts and this is the mountain, right? It starts to roll. It starts to roll. But as it goes, it just keeps on gathering speed, gathering momentum, and becoming bigger and bigger, right? We've all seen that thing, even if you've not seen snow before. But you know the funny thing about the snowball? The mountain is not like straight line like this. So the mountain can be like this. The mountain can be like this. When the snowball picks a path that it needs to follow, it follows that path. It just goes down. It doesn't go like this, then it comes like this, then it comes like this, then it comes like this. No. It's going to stop somewhere if it does that. A snowball's momentum is built on going the particular direction that it needs to go. Then it builds up, then it builds up. It's just basically like your music career. So when you focus on the thing that you know that you are good on, you build it up, and then you get better. I hope I've made some sense there. You know the funny thing about focusing on the strength? Let me clean the board here. Unique sound. Bro, you see, the thing about focusing on your strength is that when you focus on the thing that one you can control and the thing that you know you are good at, you just begin to find some uniqueness to you. First of all, you love what you do. When you love what you do, you begin to find something unique that you know that you can do that a lot of people cannot do. And listen, the reason why I'm saying is that sometimes as a musician, you listen to somebody's song and then you be like, oh my goodness, this song is far better than mine. Oh my goodness. But you see, the thing is that when you keep on listening to those songs, you are feeding something that we call the creative bank in your mind. If you keep on listening to other people's stuff, it builds your creative bank. It builds it in a detrimental way. Now, let me explain. Now, that is everything that is in your mind. Because you've not focused on the thing that you can control or you are good at. So when you are now creating music, you try to create the music like these people that you've listened to. Do you understand? So now your music is going to be nice, hopefully, but it's not this word, unique. You see? That's why you see that when some musicians are about to create music, they don't really listen to external music. They go and they say, go and hide in some spot or go and take some to get to the powers of the, yeah, you understand? But they don't listen to external music because external music can influence the way you create the music internally. You understand? But if you want to create something unique that people haven't heard before, you have to find something that is internally to bring externally. I hope I made some sense there, right? And then the last thing, love. The main aim about music is, you should love what you do. Because if you love what you do, you can do it for a long time without getting paid. Well, hopefully you have to get paid, you get me? But at least that's the most important thing. But if you focus on the thing that you cannot do or your limit, you feel frustrated. When you feel frustrated, I don't think your career as a musician is going to last. You understand? Because trust me. Well, if you can translate those frustration into lyrics, well, we could work with that. But frustration is not a good mental state to be in when you're trying to create music. Now, obviously, let me clean the board for you. Obviously, I'm not saying don't try to better your limits. Now listen, I said focus on your strengths, don't focus on your limits, focus on your strengths. But the thing is that you have to ask yourself, that your limits that you want to better or you think you're not good at, can you control it? Can you control? That's the most important word, control. Because there are some things in your body that you can't control. Somebody has a raspy voice. Like, The person is born with it. No matter what you do, as the person's voice, because of the vocal board, the way it was created. Somebody's fingers are too short, so like the person can't. The keyboard, there's nothing that the person can do. He can't play the guitar. He can't play some instruments because of his stature of his hands. You can't control it. So if you are focusing on the things that you can't control, which is going to be your limits, then you are just wasting your time. You understand? Focus on what you can control. Now, if you focus on what you can control, you can cope. I know the word cope sometimes seems a little degenerate, but see, some people have created, because they have like, somebody just has like 2 fingers like this. And now the person's like the best keyboard octave player, because now the person has found a way, because the strength is just these 2 fingers. The weakness is the 3 fingers that are gone. The strength is 2. So the person has found a way to play the keyboard like, I don't know how to do it, but it's unique. When somebody sees them, they'll be like, ha. Like, have you seen somebody without limbs who is able to basically swim? Sometimes I'm not, I can't really understand it. But the person chose not to wallow in the limits, chose to focus on the things that they can control. Okay, now back to your limits. If you can control your limits, what can you control about your limits? Okay, maybe you know how to dance, but you don't know how to make music. Good. So one of the things is that you have to learn how to make music. That's your limit, making music. Okay, let me clean this one. So that means that, 1, you can read about it. Let me put a book here. You can read about it, or you can find someone who knows how to do it and collaborate. That's it. With the person. Now, if you collaborate with somebody who can do what you can do, now it makes you learn the thing faster, because you are listening to a mentor, somebody who is already good at it. So it's like I go to the studio with somebody, I don't know how to do reggae, I just know how to make beats. The person is like reggae straight. The person will start doing it and say, okay, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. By that time, I'm learning faster. So it's not like a limit, it's just that I didn't meet the right people to be able to help me overcome it. You understand? That's why, for me, I'm always an advocate of having a mentor. It's very, very, very important. You get me? It just lets you learn everything that you're supposed to learn faster. Hey, trust me, when you understand that, like, there's no time, you get the reason why you should get somebody who has studied everything. Like, imagine that you get to meet Wizkid, and Wizkid says she's going to take you through the music industry. That's like a blessing. You understand? So here's the thing. I always say, try and learn from the people who are where you want to be. Not, let me just say, your parents. No, your parents want to help you and all that. But have your parents done what you really want to do? If they haven't, learn from somebody who has already done what you want to do. And then tell the person will teach you, okay, this is exactly how I did it. But the person can give you the blueprint. So my aim right here about the limits is to find opportunities for growth rather than focusing on the barriers. You understand? Some of the limits is just limiting beliefs. So if you are able to break that limiting beliefs by meeting somebody who can be able to help you do that, then you can be able to succeed in the music industry like you wanted to. I hope I have made a lot of sense today. And so guys, thank you for coming here today. Just leave a like on this particular video. Just a like. And until then, be creative.